were just reading and where that's going to go.
Right. So what is Swift? Swift uses, they will be using blockchain technology that is partnered with. They use the Corda Settler, which is part of R3, which is consortium of banks. R3 uses XRP for settlement. R3 it's a rumor that R3 and Ripple was just bought out by Ripple. That's a rumor that hasn't been announced yet. I don't know if it's true, but from what I'm hearing, that's what happened. Now, on top of all of this trade war talk and the going back and forth, you have Ripple meeting with the highest members of the Chinese financial sector, and they're establishing an office in Shanghai.
Hey, check this out. I heard Libra today. I just heard that's going belly up, and everybody's pulling out of it.
Absolutely. That was all that was because you had these corporations that, wanted to get into banking to be able to do that. It basically scared, all of these guys to get on board with this new system that's coming out. And could be, I think it's, a good chance it happens this year, at the latest, maybe Q1, but it's going to be backed by gold. It's going to be digitized gold. We have a liquidity crisis.
Hey, I'm going to pause for 1 second. Digitized gold. This is Rachel Lee that I've been talking about recently, who disappeared from Twitter, by the way. Some people ask a silly question or make a silly statement like, why would IMF buy the XRP from Ripple or force Ripple to hand it over? It doesn't work like that. Ripple is creating digital gold with the help of the globalists. This is a part of the deal. Hand it over. Chris Larson and Arthur Brito get to be trillionaires. Others get to be multi-billionaires, and you and I get to keep a slice of the pie as well. Ripple has no other use for the 50 billion plus XRP in escrow. All you have to do is sit back and watch it all play out like a movie. We'll continue.
Coming. If you look at, prior on the Ripple website, they offered 3 services. There was X-Current, which was kind of a stepping stone using fiat. As you went up the ladder, you get introduced to using their liquidity tool, which is called XRapid, that uses XRP. Well, they just scrapped that whole thing. So if you go to their website, you'll see it's called on-demand liquidity. Okay, this is what they're going to.
Hold on a sec. And then you've had all this pumping into the system over the last month. Hundreds of billions, 45 billion a day or something. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's been
look at this. At the top of Zero Hedge, central bank issues stunning warning: if the entire system collapses, gold will be needed to start over. And then people are talking about gold getting moved onto military bases. It's pretty wild.
Right, and you had Judy Shelton, who was named to the Federal Reserve Board of Governors, who is a advocate of a modernized gold standard. This is what's being hashed out behind the scenes, and I think all the rest of this crap is smoke and mirrors, and this is what they're going to roll out. I think it will be some, either there's the IMF is involved, there's the Asian Investment Infrastructure Bank, and you have the Bank of International Settlements. And I think what's going to happen is that you'll have this, supranational agency that will be overlooking this new system. Like I said, they use the meme or, level playing field. Everywhere you go when you look into this stuff, that was coined by Brad Garlinghouse at Ripple, and all the little minions out there are just repeating it. And
so let me ask you this:
no one sees it.
What's the feeling in your gut going to be for the regular old American like you or I? Haircut on our currency?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I do. I think you're going to see. I think what they're figuring out now is the dollar's not going anywhere. It's just not going to be the medium for international exchange anymore. And I think, we're gonna take a haircut. I think it's gonna be pretty bad for average Joe. Is not gonna it's not gonna turn out well for him. Any of us really.
Well, you see the world travel is so rapid. Everybody jumping around from country to country and so forth. I mean, I can see how these people that want to implement this electronic, basically mark of the beast system, are really pushing this, and they've got their reasons for it. But it's really going to be the enslavement of us all, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, that's where it's going. Like I said, we're all supposed to have a digital ID identification here. The plan was, ID 2020. We all have our digital ID. Now you got money is moving as fast as emails, and it's where it's all going.
Well, I was at the DMV, or the license office here, and there are all these people getting their real IDs, their little upgrade into a real ID so they can travel and so forth with their ID, and get on planes and all this stuff, for domestic flights and so forth.
Yeah, we have it here, Washington. There's not a lot of good things that we can say about our state government here anymore, but we were one of the last ones as far as trying to join up with the Real ID Act. It's maybe the only positive thing you can say about Washington State, in the last 10 years.
Yeah, so you're saying that basically Ripple's going to be the king in this whole thing, huh?
Yeah, I think what happened was that you had guys like at the International Monetary Fund. I think they saw an opportunity and hijacked it. It's not so much, Ripple's just the software company, but I think they've got like 50% of the coins are in escrow, and I think those are already been allocated to one of these big institutions that will control this thing. And I don't know how they'll figure it out. Somehow gold is tied into it, whether it's based on a country's GDP or natural resources or something. But they've been that's the wheels that are going to be driving this thing is that technology.
Yeah, well, Estonia is really out the forefront, Sweden right behind them, and then they're trying to pump this crap onto the poor people in India. But Estonia and Sweden seem to be the countries to really watch with this whole electronic beast system going to cover their entire societies.
Yeah, and another one that Luxembourg is another one.
Folks, there's three things in this video that I have never heard before. The first is that Ripple is potentially buying R3. That's the first thing. You're about to hear the next two.
That we should look for. Chris Larson, who is one of the founding members, he's on the board up there in Luxembourg. And if you read the IMF in there, in order to get into the basket of currencies to be on the SDR, you have to have at least one country that adopts a digital asset. If it were to be into that basket, that one country would have to adopt it. In Luxembourg and a little country called Liechtenstein are the two countries that I've heard mentioned. That I don't know.
Well, yeah, John.
That's the other those two things. I've never heard that in all the time, that in order to become an SDR, now I've heard that there's certain qualifications to become an SDR, to be in the SDR basket. What I've never heard is someone say that a country had to accept it and then name Luxembourg and Liechtenstein at the two countries. Okay, I'm going to let you finish this, and then I'm going to show you a couple of things I've shown you before about where Ripple and Liechtenstein are involved.
Paul
what comes
Juncker,
with it.
the heavyweight from the EU, the guy, the drunk that wears no socks and one sock and stuff. He's the big heavyweight over there in Luxembourg as well too.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you just had Christine Lagarde, who was, she is a Ripple disciple. I mean, her and the CEO are two peas in a pod, but she just got, I don't know, I guess technically it's a step up the ladder, but she's now over at the European Central Bank. She took over for Mario Draghi. And
Sure.
I think she's going to, be pushing that. Mark Carney is another disciple. He was out there at Jackson Hole calling for a new global currency to replace the dollar. You didn't hear anybody, attacking him, when he made that statement. Usually, Mnuchin or Trump will come after anybody that, takes a shot at the dollar, but no one said anything. And Bank of England, he was the Bank of England governor, and they've been a Ripple customer since 2015. So, you can see where all the minions are, getting put in place.